Alright, it's working. I already tried this intro one time. I'm gonna try to do it again. So, I just finished A School Frozen in Time. And I have so many mixed emotions about this series that I just was like, I need to do a video on it. And the reason about this is because it could have been a 10 out of 10. It could have been a 9 out of 10, not a 10 out of 10. It could have been a 9 out of 10. And I'm 100% serious about that. But the ending was so bad. Like, I just thought the ending sucked. That the ending was just so terrible that it just made me lower it down to a 7 out of 10. Like, I think I might have actually ranked it worse because of that ending. Because of how bad that ending was. It was just so... Let me get into it. So, first I want to go over basically the pros of the series, or the story. First off, I love the characters. I love all the characters. I mean, I just read the story, so I should be able to remember their names, obviously. But, you know, I loved Mitsuru. I loved, what was it? Taki? Hold on. What was her name? I'm trying to find it. I can't even remember her goddamn name. Rika! Rika! I loved Rika. I loved Sugawara. I loved the main character, Takano. I loved, I think his name was Itagari or something like that. Itagato or something like that. I loved him. I loved the girl who looked like her mother and she hated that. I basically loved every single character. That was the main cast. Anyone else outside that, like Yuki or Yuji and Haru, I didn't like them because they were very. Sorry, my iPad won't. I need to make sure my iPad, stays on so I can read the shit that I gotta talk about. So the characters were great. I should probably explain the plot first. That would be better. So, School Frozen in Time. Basically, one day, students, they go into school. No one else is there. Everything is locked. They can't get out. They can't even break the windows. And all the clocks are set to a point in time where all the clocks are set to the point in time where where a kid died, where a kid committed suicide. So, and if you remember who committed suicide, you also die. Or at least that's how it's presented in the story. Later, in the ending, they just retcon that whole thing. They just retcon all of it. So, what I should say, I love the story. I love the characters. I like the plot, except for the ending. I loved just the character designs, the feelings, the way they bounce off each other. Basically, everything is perfect. It's not like, very original. It's not this huge character, like, huge story, things that you can really think about, like, it's really just a straightforward plot until the end. And really until the end. So, and the art's okay. The art's okay. The art is just fine. And so, I should probably just start with that I loved A School Frozen in Time. Here's the cover art. The main problem I had with it was the ending. And probably one of the only, problems. The other problems are just nitpicks or just stuff I didn't really like, but that was just personally me. Okay, first off, I hate the ending because it retcons a lot of things. And, I would say spoilers for, School Frozen Time, obviously. All these videos are going to be spoilers. At least spoiler reviews. So, the ending is just so appalling. I keep saying that. So first off, the adult guy being what was his name? Sugawara, the adult, the cousin of Takano, being Sugawara. First off, that makes no goddamn sense. All right, so here, let's put this in perspective. Let's say, yeah, Sugawara never existed. It was always the cousin, right? The cousin was just Sugawara, but younger, right? First off, how the hell did they meet each other before they entered the school? I thought that the school was the point of all the kids, the mind of Mitsuru. I thought that was it. I thought the school was that point, but apparently the entire world was Mitsuru's mind. Fine, whatever. Second off, what about Sugawara's story? Was that? I think his name was Saiki. I'm just gonna call him Saiki. Or Sakada or something like that. Saiki's story, if Sugawara never existed in the first place, what was that story? Did Mitsuru just make it up to make me feel sad? Like, what was that origin story? Or was it Saiki? Was that Saiki's origin story? And how he came to be? Or is it just some fake origin story that we were just given to believe that Sugawara was, Saiki? That makes no goddamn sense. And if you're telling me, oh, well, one student had to be, then one student had to, be disappeared from the picture, well, then choose a student to be disappeared from the picture. It's not that hard. Make it be one of them. Make one of the Suicide Kids one of the actual main characters. Like, God, I'm blanking on her name. Taki? Hold on. Mitsuru. We're talking about Mitsuru. I have no clue what her name was again. I think it was Taki. Yeah, it makes sense that Mitsuru was the suicide girl, the suicide character. Yeah. Oh, Saiki? Is that her name? Yeah, it's just Saiki. I'm just gonna call her Saiki because I forgot her last name. It's Taki, right? I cried when most of the characters died. I should probably explain that too. I cried a lot. It's kind of sad. If the ending was just any different, I actually would have liked if the main character found out about who it was and then got transported back. And then everything was just normal, and all the characters were just sad. I think it could have been any. My main theory was that everyone committed suicide. That was my main theory, was that everyone committed suicide, everyone there, because they all had a reason to. But nope, it was some random girl that made Mitsuru commit suicide. But then Haru wanted to commit suicide because she thought that Mitsuru hated her, but Mitsuru wanted to commit suicide because she thought Haru hated her. So they both liked each other, but they thought the other person hated each other, so they wanted to commit suicide. Like, I don't think the author gets how serious depression and suicide is. Because one person, one of their friends, doesn't like them, they just were like, well, better end my life. That's a little bit strange, don't you think? At least in my opinion, that feels a bit strange. Oh my God. I'm actually getting mad. At talking to myself in front of my phone about why this series is ending. Sucks. That's what I'm actually doing. And it's very funny. So that's really all I had to say. Ending make no goddamn sense. Haru, as a character, her motivation lasts 3 pages. And then she was like, well, this girl got better grades than me, even though she didn't study as hard, better commit suicide. You know that, like, millions of people go through that? Like, I've went through that. And it's not like, oh, I went through depression. I went through one of my friends getting better grades even though I studied harder. That's happened to me. And I'm still sitting here in front of a camera, right? I didn't go through depression. I just, like, I get it. You're in high school. You have all these anxiety problems. But you're really, like, you're just an emo teen. That's all you are. You're just an emo teen. Like, I get it. Bullying goes, you know, suicide. That one kid, what was it? Utara or something like that? That one kid and the one other guy's backstory who, like, he could have saved, but he didn't. Like, that seems reasonable. That seems realistic. But a girl who gets good grades, but her friend got better, she was just like, fuck it, I might as well kill myself. Like, I'm not wrong in that, right? Like, that, I basically summed up the ending for you. I literally did. And then the ending was just so confusing. Like, it was all like a dream? Like, was it really just all a dream? That Takano was just in a dream and Kadashi, or whatever his name is, was also in a dream. And they were just both in a dream. Just dreaming about the same dream. Like, was everyone else having the same dream? Because they arrived there. But if they were all having the same dream and they remembered, does that mean they woke up at the same time Takano did? So were they just in sleep for a while until Takano woke up? Or did they wake up and they just decided not to do anything and just waited till the main protagonist showed up to, you know, see all their friends? Like, as you can see, when he gets there, he's the only guy there who's, you know, he's like, oh, call an ambulance. If they all just woke up earlier, the ambulance would have already been called. Like, it's not like, it's a weird time progression there, buddy. Like, I don't think that makes sense. So, I'm just guessing that they all woke up at the same time, but it's not something that they explain either. And the ending just also feels super rushed. Like, he's just randomly like, oh, I'll die with you. Right? And none of it makes sense at all. Like, a single thing doesn't make sense. What else? What else do I have to say? That's really it. There are more stuff that I hate about the end. There's more stuff that I hate about the ending, but that's really it. Those are the basic things that I just didn't really like. One, how they treated Sugawara. He was probably my favorite character before that weird plot twist. Like, you really didn't need that. You could have just either not made a line about that picture, or you could have just, like, made Sugawara the guy who committed suicide. You could have just done that. Because at the end, his, like, backstory was that he hated himself. Right? Because he was a brat. Or he thought he was a brat, right? He hated himself. You could just make him commit suicide, and then it would all be good. Right? But, no. We have to do this whole plot twist shit. And make it, oh, you never expected it. No, I didn't expect it. Just because I didn't expect it doesn't mean it's good. I'm done with this series. It's an amazing series. Don't get me wrong. But I'm done with it. I'm so done with it. But, read it. Like, the more, I love the series, I'll be honest. The more I bash on it, the more you be like, oh, it's a bad series. No. The first 3 volumes and a half, the first 3.5 volumes are great. Until they reveal Sugawara to be the old guy, I mean, you're probably not going to read it. I've already spoiled the entire thing for you. Whatever, read it anyway. I spoiled the ending for you. It doesn't matter. You're going to like it anyway. That's really it. So, School Frozen in Time, I gave it a 7.9 out of 10. Which is pretty generous. So, I actually put it above Attack on Titan, below Zom 100. At least in my rankings over here. I still need to get to these series. I just want to read everything on this bookshelf first. I know you can see my hand. I want to read everything on this bookshelf first before I get to that one. Because those are series whatever. I might read Jess and Darwin though. I might read that one and or Hell's Paradise because I heard that one's good. But the other ones I want to wait to either I get the other volumes, or or until like whatever, or whatever. I might read Bungo Stray Dogs though too. That's it. That's all I want to talk about. This video has gone for long enough. I don't know how to do an outro. I know I said my next video is gonna be about my comic book collection. It's not. I'm sorry. That's gonna go. I'm gonna record it like tomorrow or something. I don't know when I'm gonna record it. I just really need to talk about this series, cause there's so many things that are going through my mind, and this is basically my therapy. I'm not rich enough to pay for therapy. All right, I spent all my money on manga. So if you could leave a like to help out my ego, that would be great. And if you could also subscribe, that would also be great to help out my ego and make me more of an egotist. Thank you. That would be awesome. Okay, goodbye now. Wait, hold on. Let's get to 16 minutes first. All right, we're at 16 minutes. Okay, goodbye.